All right, so you're also in this analysis in 1.1, figure 1.1, you notice these crazy lines that are everywhere, dot, 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 dot. This is pointing out something called imitation, all right? So you can see imitation begins. So here you've got your brev, brev, whole note, whole note, whole note, whole note, right? So it's copying each other. Here's another imitation. So you've got your dotted half note, and then quarter, 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 half note, 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 half note. So these two are the same, right? And then it happens again. Same pattern, okay? Well, not totally the same. You can see it changes, all right? So it starts the same, but it doesn't complete the same, all right? And that's okay. Again, here, it doesn't always have to be from the bottom. It can be from the top as well where the imitation happens, all right? So in your assignment, all they're doing here is serious analysis of everything that they saw. So they're showing outline triads. They're showing that was in Doria mode, showing that it's musica ficta. I don't expect you guys to do any of this stuff in your analysis. They go in depth about whether something is syllabic or melismatic as far as the text setting goes. Syllabic means that you're going to have one syllable per note. Beatus, right? Beatus. Melismatic means you're going to have more notes, multiple notes in one syllable. So it's ho, oh, oh, like that. That's all it is. So that's the difference between syllabic and melismatic. Yep, and they identify some of the cadences, whether they're plagal or clausula. So in here you can see measure 5, 11, 12, 16, 17, 23, 24, plagal, clausula vera, plagal, clausula vera at the end, okay? And then here they're just counting passing tones, so dissonances. You don't have to do any of this stuff, all right? But I'm just showing you what they've got. Okay, so your assignment this week is to do assignment 1.3. And what I want you to do is do a straight up analysis from the lowest sounding tone with each upper two voices. Label any dissonances with a circle and identify it. So whether it's passing tone, neighboring tone, suspension. And then I want you guys to find 3 instances of imitation in this piece. And 1 plagal cadence. Try and identify them all, but find at least 1. All right, and then 1 clausula vera. You should have no problem doing this because I can guarantee that the last cadence in this piece, the last part of this piece, is going to be the clausula vera. All right, because that's essentially the late Renaissance version of a perfect authentic cadence. So notice, take note, tenor clef. The tenor part is in treble clef and it's sounding an octave below. Now, that's good for you guys because the other 2 parts are just regular old treble clef, all right? So chances are 99% sure you're going to stay, the tenor is going to be the lowest sounding note. There may be a couple of instances where it goes really high, even here it doesn't. But if the alto drops really low and this guy drops really high, be aware they could do switch, okay? Just be aware of that. But for now, we're just going to analyze this first part. So first of all, we've got imitation right away, right? We've got 3 beats, dotted whole note, followed by a bunch of half notes. Same thing here, 3 beats, right? So half note, whole note plus a half note, 3 beats, same equivalent, followed by a bunch of half notes, right? You can end this wherever you want. Probably ends here on these 2 beats, right? So that's where the imitation starts. So that's 1 instance of imitation. Now you just have to find 2 more, right? So here, between this G, this low G, which is actually going to sound much lower than this, all right? So it's going to sound to your ears like it's this G down there, okay? So this G is a fifth apart from the D, and then the D hangs on, and we jump up to a B, so B to D is a third, and again, remember this B is going to sound to your ears down like this B down here in treble clef, all right? And now we jump down to a G, G to D, fifth. So we don't have parallel fifths. It goes 5, 3, 5. And so far we don't have any dissonances either. All right? F to F is an 8. B to D is a 3. And then here's this C, which is actually going to sound to your ear like this C, even though they're both technically treble clef. So it's technically it's a unison, all right? But if you put an 8, it's fine. And then we get a series of thirds. So we've got D to F and E to G, F to A. So 3, 3, 3, all fine, perfectly consonant. And then they split, they drop down after this imitation, and we get a sixth, all right? So we get D to B, so it's a sixth. And then we get an 8. And here, we've got a series of stepwise motion while you're holding long whole notes, right? So chances are you're going to have some problems. So we've got right here, now with this voice added, right? We've got C to C, so that's an octave. And then we've got C, so we've got C to C, and we've got C to G, which is a fifth. So an 8 and a 5. All right? Then we step up 1, but these guys remain the same, right? So from D to C is a 7th, and then from D to G is a 4th, all right? So these are both dissonants. So we circle them and label them as dissonant, and in the context of this, look at this stepwise motion, right? So we're going to call them passing tones. So it's the passing tone from the bass, all right? So the passing tone is right here. And now here, we go back to consonances. So we've got a 3, a 6, and a 3. So E to C is a 6th. E to G is a 3rd, so we're fine there. And then F to C is a 5th, so this is consonant, but we have a second between these two, right? Between the F and the G, so that's a second, but still it's functioning as a passing tone, so it's okay, right? Then we resolve, we end up back to normal, right? So we have G to B flat, so that's a 3rd, and then we've got G to G right here, and remember, this is going to sound an octave lower, so it's actually going to sound as a unison, so it's going to be the same, all right? So that's a 1, and then it hops down to G, low G, right? But we've moved on by then, so it's not a problem. So we've got G to B and G to B, all right? Remember, this is the B flat, this is in the key signature right there. So it's a 3rd and a 3rd. And then it steps up again, and we end up with 2 seconds, right? So we end up with an A in B flat and an A in B flat, which is seconds. But if you look here, in the context of the bass line, it's going to be passing tones, right? So again, you just label it as a passing tone. So that's all you're going to do. Any questions? I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, and good luck. It shouldn't be too long. But it is a big assignment. It's 4 pages long. But again, it's the only assignment you have to do this week. All right? So you're going to immerse yourself and get really good at it. So it's a little long, and I will post a link to the piece so you can hear what it sounds like, and I'll also post a link to Hockett's so you can sound what Hockett's sound like. And I will see you on Tuesday. All right, have a good week.